You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
Yeah, man, it continues to be the year of the woman, man. Like, I just got right into the show. I'm Matic Roses, and my co-host beside me right here is
Matic. What it do?
And we're out here. But have you been hearing how many ladies are just killing these records? We just played that Glorilla, and now we got into Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah, hey, girl power. You dig? Blueprint Radio all day, every. You know, it's long time coming.
Facts,
I'd say that, right?
facts.
You know, we've heard women in hip hop ever since. You know, I can go back to shout out Missy Me. You know,
Big
Salt
up.
and Pepper.
Peace.
You know, so you know, going back to the '80s of hip hop, and it's their time. And what
real.
I'll say is that they're making a lot of good music.
No, I'm not
Right?
even going to front on them.
So-
I mean, we just spoke about that Lotto a couple weeks ago. I told you Glorilla's taking over the summer. I was listening to the radio, 3 joints back to back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glow.
Yeah.
The one with Meg
Okay.
is 7 p.m. Friday. Back to back to back.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I don't know what her budget is, but she got this radio station on lock.
Yeah, it's again, we were talking about it I think a couple episodes ago, you know, about the top 4 in the game, but I think you can
Yeah.
actually spread it out to about top 8 right now. There's a lot. You know
No,
what one of my
man.
favorite is that we haven't really focused on a lot is Armani Caesar.
Oh,
Yeah.
Griselda.
Yeah, she can rap, right?
Nah, she can rap. She got skills, and she's beautiful.
And there's a new artist, Doechii, that from TDE.
Oh.
Yeah, and everyone's going kind of crazy with that. So maybe we'll take a look. The album just dropped a couple weeks ago. So you know we got you here at Blueprint Radio.
Of course.
How was your week, my guy?
It was good, man. This weekend was my daughter's birthday, so you know, out and about.
Happy birthday. Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
shout out Big 12.
Jeez.
You heard?
12 to 24. Just blink of an eye.
God. It is like reason a 24-year-old. She got so much attitude, but it's all love though. Went to Canada's Wonderland yesterday.
Okay.
Got to go on the well, I didn't go on the rides, let's be honest here.
Nah.
But I mean, they got to go on the rides and
Yeah.
have mad fun. If you're watching on YouTube, you see the shirt.
Hey.
Promo piece.
There we go.
Got the guy to do the airbrush right on the
It
spot.
looks fire, my guy.
Yeah, man. Merch coming soon,
Hey,
man.
rep it. Well, we're
We
in
gotta
the
rep the
building. We already
brand,
know.
bro.
We already know what it is.
I'm about to
You
switch my
already
shirt back.
know.
But you know how it goes. What else did I get into? Nothing too much, but speaking about that, I had a thought.
Yeah.
The government
Mm-hmm.
needs to regulate the prices at these events. These games, these carnivals, these fairs.
Got it.
Why is a slice of pizza $15,
Yeah, that's
bro?
crazy. That's crazy.
Extra large pizza, $45.
You know what's crazy about that, though? When you were young and you went to Wonderland, what did our parents do?
Brought food.
Yo, we would leave halfway through the park, go outside. We have everything
Yo.
already packed up
Yeah,
because
that's
they
a
know
fact.
from back then, right?
He said,
it's
bully
just-
beef sandwich,
what
yo.
do you mean? What do you mean, yo?
A cold bully beef sandwich, yo. You're eating cold onions, but
And then after that, like
Yeah.
depending on how much you ate or what you ate, then you're strategizing. Okay, what rides or what are we doing next?
facts.
Right? So
yeah.
listen,
You're
it's
right.
expensive out there. No matter what you do,
You gotta pay to play, bro.
I went to the movies, brought the fam to the movies with $100 before food
You
and
didn't get a
anything else.
popcorn yet.
Nah, before anything else, right?
That's
so
outrageous.
It's these things are events.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at them now, right? It's you have to. It's not this casual like
you gotta pay to play, bro.
Yeah, even going to the Raptors game, going to a Leafs game, like it's not cheap. It's not for
Absolutely
It feels
not.
like it's not even for like the middle class anymore. Like
Nah,
it's
like a beer is like $15.
targeted audience. Yeah, no, it is what it is. The only thing I could say is get your money. And that's the only way that's the great equalizer out here. The government ain't gonna change for shit.
Government needs to regulate these people,
they
man.
ain't changing for
They
shit.
try to embarrass you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm looking at these little guys. Like, how you bringing your girl here? Like, you don't make no money. Like,
Bro, but you know what it is? Like, obviously, you know, men of them are doing okay and you know and working hard and building, but
Yes.
I'm not prone to going online before I go out to an event and checking the prices for everything. Just
I've
to
never
make
done
sure
that.
everything is dog, because you don't want to kind of like you want to know what you're in for. I think that's what
Yeah.
I'm always about. Like I've been there.
You
I've
do
been
the
in
calculations
state,
ahead of
I've been-
time.
I've been in the state where I'm just throwing money and it's just like, yeah, I got it, I pay for it. And And you're just like, at the end of the day, like
the next 2 weeks you got to stretch $7.
Not even that, but even when you think about it, in hindsight, you're like, yo, I spent way too much money on what?
Exactly. You don't even get the value out of it.
Yeah, that's what it is for me. It's about the value. So when
True.
you're just like hitting, and this day and age too, it's crazy because we don't even like, I think when you have cash and you're able to see the cash kind of dwindling in your wallet, it's different than you tapping everything. You're not even counting bucks now.
Bro,
Everything
and then
is
you
digital.
got credit cards too, so you might spread it out over so it doesn't feel like nothing. You be like, I use this credit card for that, this credit card for that. But speaking about events, are you planning on going to TIFF?
Yeah, you know, it's something that I plan to do. It's crazy when it comes to TIFF. It's something I plan to do every year, but because it's only a 2-week block, and I think just because maybe having kids in school and so on and so forth, I think it just always ran into a bad time for me. For TIFF, there's nothing that like I really was super excited for this year.
You know what?
Anything that you saw?
I didn't see anything. I'm gonna try to go out there on Thursday.
Okay.
Before it wraps up.
Yeah.
For everybody that isn't in the know, it's the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah.
I saw some stars in the city promoting.
But even that, though, I feel like this year, I haven't
The
seen
hype
as many
wasn't so
stars as
around
I've
it,
seen
yo.
year before. So I'm not even as geeked to go this year than I was in years past, right? But it's a fly. If you're able to get out, I think I saw
it's a dope event to go
a
to,
women's
though.
event all over IG yesterday. I think Alanis Morissette was the big name that was there. So
what?
Yeah, it was
childhood.
It looked fly. It looked fly. But so yeah, well, obviously, in the next year we'll get to it. How about them ones?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But let me know how it goes if you end up going Thursday.
Of course, if I go, I'll let you guys know on the next show.
For sure.
In line with films and movie, we seen Vince McMahon's documentary trailer. That looks incredible. Vince McMahon is a very polarizing figure in sports, athletics, entertainment, whatever you want to call it. Vince is that, and I cannot wait for this. As a wrestling fan, I know you're on it.
Bro, like Vince practically raised me, and just like you grew up watching wrestling. I'm geek for the doc. Like we talked about it again a couple episodes when we first got a little snippet of it, but now that the official trailer came out, it looks fire. I'm gonna be glued to it. The one thing that I know is gonna happen is gonna be entertaining.
Of course,
100% entertainment.
Anything WWE,
yeah, they know how to. They just. That's what they do.
Come on, we grew up in the Attitude Era, so we know about how WWE captured the minds and souls of us. We were getting in trouble. Yo, we were getting in trouble for saying "suck it" in the hallway.
Everyone caught a DX. Teachers caught a DX. Like everyone caught a DX. Or if it wasn't that, before that, we were just new world order.
Ooh, Wolfpack
for life, right? But the one thing that I'm questioning from now, and again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, is that I don't think it's going to be very informative. And the reason why I say that is that Vince McMahon and the McMahon family have pretty much lived in front of us their lives for the last 50 years. Vince took it over from his dad in WWF, and then over the last 40 years of WWF, WWE, he's been front and center of the industry, the brand. All of his public incidents have been documented,
but they've been hidden though.
They have. So
they're documented, but he was the guy to have the 5 minutes of shame, and then it goes away before everybody else was.
But even though, like, we know that Vince has been through, and the locker room stories of WWE. And the one thing that I'll say why I am a geek for it is that a lot of wrestlers that leave WWE for whatever reason like to spill the beans about their tenure at the
shoot
organization.
They like to shoot.
I love the wrestling term. They're shooting on them, definitely. And so I'm there for that, but I also feel just because it's I said it last time, it's a WWE documentary on Netflix. The WWE just signed a 10-year deal with Netflix,
and Vince is part of this as well.
I don't know how much expose it's going to be.
Right?
So I'll wait to see, and then we'll debrief it for sure. We'll definitely do a full recap on that. Yeah, you know what I mean. Maybe if I can find my Hogan band, maybe not Hogan.
Wrestling
my Rock
is
stuff,
that, bro.
My Rock merch, maybe come in with a championship belt or two.
Let's go.
And I'm geek for that.
I can't wait to see that.
Did you? I know you did. What are your thoughts on the LL Cool J? I'll wait. Okay, so for those that don't know, LL Cool J dropped an album last week. It's called The Force.
I forget what it's like. Frequencies.
Yeah,
long story. Yeah. The name was trash.
There's no force at all. I'll let you guys know this right now. We were looking for the force, and
can I cook?
It is not with us, you, or anybody. Yeah, please cook.
All right. So I'm gonna take my hip hop hat and just put it on here. Q-Tip, legend. LL Cool J, legend. Both from Queens.
Preach.
Both do a lot of great things. Q-Tip has produced some of the greatest beats of all time.
Yeah.
LL has produced some of the greatest music as a rapper.
Yeah.
Now,
agreed.
Was I wanting to hear Q-Tip and LL Cool J together 50 years into hip hop? No. Q-Tip doesn't really produce the style of music that would work and is suitable for LL Cool J. Now, for me, I don't think LL Cool J listens to anybody. He just does what he feels because at the end of the day, he's the OG for your OG.
Yeah.
And what could you say to LL Cool J?
That's a slippery slope. I'm with you.
Not much. Who's he listening to? Who was bigger than him?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody. At least definitely in his mind.
Nobody
Nobody's bigger than him, right?
Another guy that takes him, LL Cool J takes himself mad serious too.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you were talking to him, you can see how he handles interviews, how he handled the cannabis situation.
Yeah.
Like, shorty, who is you? Like,
yeah.
He has that bravado, that chip on his shoulder. He's the man. He's living in glory days.
Yeah.
Now he's still the man, but not for hip hop.
Yeah, I agree.
He's the man for the moves he's made, the TV shows he's been on, the things he's acquired, being a staple in the culture still at this point.
Yeah.
Let me cook.
Yeah.
Now,
cool. This is ISO time.
Now, did we need that with Q-Tip? No. Did it fit what LL Cool J's sound was? No. LL Cool J needs more boom bap beats, or at least they need to be hard. He's a Def Jam artist. This doesn't sound like a LL Cool J album. Now, the frequencies that this tape was on, I wasn't feeling it. I skipped every single track. Every track. I didn't finish one track. And the reason I didn't finish every single track is because the one track, I already knew it because we played it on the show 3 times. That's the one with Rick Ross and Fat Joe.
Yeah, Saturday Night Special.
That was the only joint on there I would bump again. This gets no replay value. LL is a legend, somebody I looked up to, somebody who I've had cassettes and CDs for. So I'm not a hater, but I had to be truthful. We've talked on this show about how people are doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of the old artists are coming back and really making themselves relevant and present in today's culture.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was trying to do, if he was trying to shift the needle, but this was not what we needed.
Yeah, no, listen, you nailed that. I agree with all your sentiments there. Shifting the needle, I don't know if hip-hop, it goes to LL Cool J right now to shift the needle. As you were speaking, I was just thinking about it. LL, I think you mentioned the fact that, like, who's he listening to? That's huge, especially when you've been out of hip hop for so long. The sound is different.
Yeah.
Now, I don't feel that he was trying to make music for a younger demographic, but he also wasn't making music for his core audience, I don't believe either, right? So what I believe is, I think he's just making music to make music, and he always wanted to make an album with Q-Tip, so he made an album with Q-Tip. You understand what I'm saying? And I just think it might have been, it seems as I tried to listen to the album, you're talking about replay value. You have to get played first to have replay value.
Well, we checked it out. We listened to it once
because we're students of the game. No, we're students
of the game,
and we promised a review. But it's tough when you're hearing so much music out there. Again, with the other album that we're about to talk about, where there's a lot of passion and it seems like they know their identity and they know their place currently with their core audience. I just feel that this is a major fall. Now, LL Cool J is a legend. He's done everything that you can do in hip hop. As you mentioned, transition to movies and TV, and he was like the first to do it to real success, him and T and Cube. But like, when it comes to the music thing, for me, And there's three producers right now. I think if you got to come back right now as an elder statesman and you want to have some kind of mainstream success, and I don't think LL was actually looking for mainstream success, is Al,
Cook,
Hit Boy,
Cook,
and Metro.
Cook.
And and of course LL can afford the budgets for those, because if you've seen LL's videos, those were Hype Williams type videos that he put out. So I don't understand why the love and the energy wasn't in the music, at least from my standpoint. So I agree with you on that. I don't want this to be the last LL Cool J album that I hear of new material, but I do feel that he does take the criticisms and kind of make adjustments for the next project.
Why didn't he just make 10 tracks that he made with the Saturday Night Specials? Why didn't he make 10 of those?
Yo, that track is good to me. Like, I don't mind it. It has a good vibe.
He could have made, because he's still displaying as an elder. He's still displaying himself as an elder statesman.
Yeah.
It's still bars.
Yeah.
It's still relevant to him.
Yeah.
Even the topics he was talking about, there was a lot of black and white, like, racism talk on it. And I'm like, LL, that you're not the guy. Like, sometimes the message coming from somebody, it just doesn't captivate.
Bro, a lot of the times it's the messenger, right? That you're getting that, like, and it falls short on what's being said. So
I think maybe because he made that terrible country song.
No, I just feel I think you nailed it. I think he's totally just detached from the sport itself, and I think this was just more of I'm gonna give him grace and shoot him some bail, and I'm gonna call this a passion project.
All right, let's move on to the second joint we're about to review. Ransom and Conway the Machine. Kaos Is My Latter 2, produced by V Dawn. Incredible joint, can't lie. Didn't know I needed this duo, but the music sounded so official.
So when I first heard that, or I saw that it dropped, and Conway and Ransom on a tape, a full tape, I was already geeked, right?
Of course.
And they nailed it out. V Dawn did the beats throughout. They're barring down the place. They actually have shit to say. Now, I am biased. I'm not even gonna front. Like, I feel that I will be critical of Griselda projects when they're bad.
And when they give you something to critique.
Yeah, but they haven't yet. And
Facts.
I'm loving it. We are obviously waved that Griselda flag because it's good quality music. There is a nostalgic to it and a hip hop respect to it, which, I feel like this project In and Out it has all over it. Obviously, we played Higher Killer featuring Lloyd Banks. But the melodic sounds throughout the album, the bars throughout the album was amazing. I'll let you cook in a second. The one thing that I will say, if I have to critique something, and this is all personal, this has nothing to do with the quality of the project, is that when I hear Ransom and I hear Conway, like, I want to hear some high energy, like, bars going at it, and maybe some more 808s. Like, I get the vibe that they were going for, and they nailed it. But for me, I do want to hear a couple more like Costas type beats. You know what I mean? A little more Derringer. I know this wasn't a Derringer project, but that type style. What do you think?
No, I really appreciated it. There was a record on there where Ransom was just speaking towards rap after being 50 years old and just giving a breakdown of what rap is.
Yeah, midlife crisis.
Whew.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Randy Nichols might be one of the best rappers in the last 5 years, consistently putting out tapes, consistently putting out work that has been at a crazy level. Like, Ransom has just been incredible. We know what...
Very slept on. Very
we know what Griselda's been doing, so... We won't talk about that too much because just listen to the project. I guarantee you'll love it. Untold came out. The Murder of Aaron McNair.
Yeah. It was a good doc.
How did you feel about that documentary? Because at the end, I was a little like, okay, is this the end? Is there going to be another part to this?
again, I'm like I was telling you right now. When you go out, I kind of want to get the lay of the land before I get there and know what I'm looking for and how the place operates. I kind of did that with the doc, and what I'll do is the one thing that stood out to me was it was under an hour.
Yeah, it was
right?
only like 48 minutes.
Yeah, it was under an hour.
That.
So when I hear that or when I see that, like I don't want to make too much of a judgment, but it also seems like, okay, maybe they compressed a lot of information or didn't have a lot of information to present. I think all in all, it was a good doc. I don't know if I learned anything new in regards that I already didn't know, but they did create, when they had the different suspects. Right? That part about it I didn't know about, so I definitely appreciated getting that insight. I learned a lot more of the female that he was dating at the time.
You know what? I feel like I knew this before. He was trying to distance himself. After the DUI, he kind of just jumped in a car and was out. He didn't worry about her. Like, yo, I have a wife. Like,
he didn't want that public. Like,
I'll bail you out, but like, just don't make this a scene for me.
Yeah,
and I think. Classic tale. She meets a rich guy, can provide her with different things. Yeah. He does that.
She's on her own.
So obviously she falls in love, but her love was not where he was at.
So
and
there's so
then
much.
There was a mix up in there.
Yeah.
So
again, so the one thing that comes out to me, like that stood out to me as you watch these docs of passion and love and murder and shit. What thing stood out to me was, okay, Steve McNair is this, especially in the state of Tennessee and playing for the Texans, like what kind of I lost was the fact that he was a bad man playing football. Him as a QB.
Do you remember how that Titans run was?
He was a bad man. The fact that he also went to an HBCU, and he turned around the franchise for Tennessee, especially with Coach Fisher and the running back, Eddie George.
Eddie George is incredible.
Yeah, so they had a really good run, and they had a run. I think they went to a couple conference finals, as they mentioned, and one Super Bowl. They lost on that stretch play, on the very last play of the game. I remember watching that game, and that was the greatest show on turf. But they adorned him. So this story to me is it's so random. Like it's almost like an outlier, because we know, and we're not going to front, we know that that rich athletes from the beginning of time, entertainers, have had extramarital affairs, right? That's not new.
That's nothing new.
That's not new, right? But I think in a situation like this, because they also uncovered, a couple other marital affairs he was having. It looks like one of those scenarios where you just stuck your hand one too many times in a cookie jar, and when that lid landed, you took two in the chest. You understand what I'm saying? It was just it's an outlier. What stands out to me too, and I don't know. Again, I don't know if you can hedge against this. The age differences, right? Like, he's a grown man in his in his terms and in his life, and he's dealing with this young girl. Like, you're not on the same page. Like, the equally yoked is a real thing. You understand what I'm saying? So,
son,
rest in peace, obviously, to Steve McNair, but I think there are lessons that we all can learn from these circumstances, rich or poor.
Chill out.
Yeah, man, you're doing too much sometimes.
Way too much.
But what I will talk about the doc too was the whole police side of everything, right? Because it looks like, especially at the end, I thought the end was amazing to me, because they took the DEA and versus what the local cops. So they ultimately, the DEA say, like, these guys messed up. Like, how did you go to the pawn shop, and without spoiler alert, 100%. Now you go to the pawn shop and talk to the owner that owns the gun, and then you don't bring him down to the police station.
Nah,
you know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of holes.
Even the other guy that was messing with the young thing.
Yeah,
they only had him in the station for like 7 minutes.
Yeah,
and let him go. Like, he's a prime suspect.
All even the bodyguard. You know what I mean? Like, if you dig into like the stealing the money, he's or his ex teammate / bodyguard. Like, you might want to follow him a little bit more,
fam.
Right? Like, so
I don't even know. They didn't even say nothing about his ex-wife either.
Not even.
You know what I'm saying? And your wife is always not ex-wife, sorry.
His wife at the time,
his widowed wife.
Yeah.
They're always a prime suspect.
Well, unless she, but they didn't even mention her. Not even the fact that they were like we went to speak to her and she had an alibi. She was with the like. They didn't even mention it at all.
We didn't see her at all during the doc.
And I think that's part of the like when I see under an hour, it's like, all right, maybe it's a quick flip, whatever the case is. You know what I mean?
They just did that quick, but
and
it was a good doc. We recommend
sure.
it. Make sure you go watch it. What we got up next, my man?
Okay, right now we're gonna run brand new. This is Pharrell, Lil Yachty, Lil Wayne. Can't Hold Me Down. Blueprint Radio.
Let's go.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
Yes. We're back with news and entertainment. We're going to start off with a sad story. Famed rapper from Atlanta, Rich Homie Quan, passed away. He was only 34 years old. He passed away, and they're saying it might have been an OD. I know he's going through a lot, especially with the Young Thug trial and his name being mentioned. Never a good thing. I know he was putting on for Canadians. He had the A-game boys with him. So we just want to give him a moment of silence.
Yeah, for sure.
R.I.P. to Rich Homie Quan. Rest in peace. Rest in power.
Yeah.
But on another note, today's turning up. The internet has turned all the way up because Kendrick Lamar has been announced as the special halftime guest for Super Bowl 58 in New Orleans.
So this was
How do you feel about that?
This was planned. What to feel about it? Like
they're not like us.
Yeah. Well, like it's if this were in LA, then I get it. It's in New Orleans. It's so funny because I first heard it, and you obviously have your own thoughts about it, especially coming from where we come from.
Of course.
And it looks real sus at the end of the day. But hey, but when you dig into it, and I appreciate Cam and Mace, with their show, It Is What It Is, which we're fans of. They kind of broke it down, and I think this is something that a lot of people that can kind of read the tea leaves and can kind of see through the forest and not just what's for face value can understand that there's real poly at play here, or politics for those that don't know.
It's always politics, man.
Yeah, so long and short of it, Cam and Mace insinuated that this is a higher play from Jay-Z. And they even went on to reference their own personal situations regarding it. We'll get into something like what Dame said in regards to his situation currently with 50 in regards to this as well. But, the Super Bowl is a big deal. The Super Bowl is a life changer for any artist that does it. If you don't know about performing at the Super Bowl, you don't get paid to do it. It's all off promotion.
Your streams go all the way up.
Through the roof.
600% increases in some cases.
Through the roof. So, is Kendrick Lamar gonna kill it? Of course.
Yes.
He's gonna kill it.
Is he gonna bring the whole West out with him?
Probably. If it's anything like his concert.
If he's smart, he brings the whole of the West.
Well, TDE should be on stage. Absolutely.
But I mean, YG... Mustard,
Snoop,
Cube.
No.
Anybody you could get, you bring them.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on it. Because how unified, he made the West over the last 3 to 4 months.
Right.
Why not move with them everywhere you go to kind of keep that unity, right?
Well,
I think the biggest thing that stands out is why not Lil Wayne, who's been the biggest artist from New Orleans in the last 20 plus years. But
we have yet to hear Wayne speak on it.
100%. And again, that's being said, a lot of speculation.
Right.
But when I take the speculation from industry insiders, I think they know a little bit more than others or the general public, because Wayne could have turned it down. That we don't.
That's
know about,
what I'm saying.
Right?
But wait. Birdman and Nicki spoke on it.
But they said something. Exactly.
So
right?
That's where it's like maybe he didn't turn it down. He just wasn't offered.
Yeah. Well, again.
And he lives in his own land, so you don't know what he knows yet.
And this does lead to the conspiracy theories about Jay-Z, because if you know hip-hop, like we know hip-hop, there was, a beef brewing between Jay, Young Money, Birdman in regards to rights to signing Wayne, and the story goes is that like on the 11th hour of the deal, Wayne backed out and Birdman, said, nah, that's not happening to my son.
Yeah.
And Jay kind of, I guess has held that grudge over time. They had a back and forth. If you guys don't know, Jay's verse on Ham was directly to Wayne. And Birdman. So there's a lot of subs. Wayne has tracks directed to him, and who you would think it died out over 15 years.
Nah.
Yeah.
Beef lives.
It lives strong, and especially when you have the power that Jay has,
of course,
you get to make the decisions and affect whoever you want to affect when you need to affect them. And I think this is one of those things. I think they just turned up the needle when it comes to this back and forth. Because now if you have Young Money, actually, because people were asking, like, where's Young Money in this Kendrick thing? Now it looks like, you're kind of poking the bear. But if you have Jay the West, the rest of hip-hop versus, this is turning into something absolutely epic.
If I'm Kendrick, I put on my New Orleans, I put on Boosie from Baton Rouge.
I might bring out Boosie.
Yeah, I put them on my show.
Do a little zoom.
I put my show on.
Zoom.
And I have them out there. Yeah. But I make sure the West is all standing behind me because that photo op, that look, regardless of what it is, for hip hop, huge.
But you know what I don't like? And it's what has been my main contention with Kenny's side of that whole beef was the whole, the pedo thing. And being on stage singing those bars it's still nasty work, bro. Like, you're gonna have 100,000 people or billion people worldwide watching this thing, rapping along. Like, to me, it's like, I know there's he
has to perform.
That's a trash take, and I'm gonna say this right now. There are rules and guidelines and things you just don't do or say at the end of the day in every field, in every sport, and that are just crossing the line. And I think that was, in their beef, that crossed the line. I don't think you ever put that on a man's vest.
No, you can't stay in his jacket like that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Because there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, so I when I hear the song, like, obviously we don't hear it out here as much as they probably hear it all the time in the U.S. But
well, remember, we were talking to our man from the South, and he was saying that...
Shout out DJ Rel.
Yeah, DJ Rel, shout out. He was saying that that's the biggest song in the West history in the last 20, 25, 30 years.
And he's right.
And I was trying to think about it. What was a bigger West Coast song than that?
The last biggest song, you know what I'm going to say? As he said, I was thinking about it. It might be Drop It Like It's Hot.
Oh, does that count?
It's Snoop Dogg.
Oh. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking more like...
I'm talking about as monster of a track it was.
Like This Is How We Do, Hate It or Love It.
That's still... Oh, yeah, those are big... It's the game.
Those are the biggest 100%.
records. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. But
I didn't even remember. Snoop's so like Snoop is the West, but Snoop is so hip hop. Like, I forget that he's from the West Coast because it's a Pharrell song. It's not like a West-centered song.
Yeah.
So,
no.
You might have got it. You might have got it.
I guess as I was thinking about it, I think that's what it is. So I get the energy because the West is always rapped like they've been slighted.
Yeah.
Like, like they're the ugly stepchild of hip hop. And so I get the insecurity. They built hip hop. Like, when you think about, like, especially, in the late 90s and early 90s, late 80s. But hey, sometimes you need an antagonist. You need a chip on your shoulder to keep it moving. So I can definitely resonate with that. We'll see how this plays out. I definitely want to hear Wayne's take. I don't think he says anything about it, though.
He doesn't even business.
He has that Louisiana Fest coming out where the Hot Boys are going to perform.
That's a big one, though.
That's huge.
So do you know if Turk and
I heard everybody
BG squashed the beef?
I heard, from what I'm hearing, it's because I actually saw Turk was the first Hot Boys that, listen, we're all hooked up. Everybody's on the bill. Everyone's there.
Love that. And you know what?
And I believe he even said BG. So he said everybody. So again,
I was a fan of Turk.
Of course, Turk, BG, and Wayne were my favorite Hot Boys, and back in the day.
Juvie was.
See, I like Juvie. You know what it was with Juvie?
Come on, man.
I liked I liked the style and everything. I just wasn't. I think there was something in the cadence that I didn't really take to.
500 Degrees.
Great album.
When that dropped,
great album. Great album.
The G Code.
Yeah, great album. Great album.
Man.
But again, I think back then I think if you had to act, Wayne wasn't my favorite. BG was my favorite.
BG was the nastiest.
BG was my favorite back then. For
He's
sure.
that Chopper City in the Ghetto too.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, BG was it though.
But so last week we spoke about the Dame 50 situation.
Yeah.
50 talked about how basically when he got his $1 million deal, Dame said that ain't no money. Dame responded.
Yeah.
You know, and Dame really brought it to, hey, you're a mogul, I'm a mogul.
Yeah.
Let's drop our streaming services. Cause I got America New. What was 50's called? You remember?
50 Action.
50 Action versus America New.
Yeah.
And put out a new movie because I got a new movie ready.
Yeah.
In true Dame Dash style. Because it was a flex.
Yeah.
It's a big time flex to be able to drop a streaming platform with all your content on it and say I have 18,000 hours of content.
That's a flex.
So, in true hip hop style, he kind of challenged 50. The only thing is he talked too much, and he says it's a grill. Other people
No, those were dentures, dog.
think it was dangerous.
Those were dentures.
His joints fell out, and it was kind of embarrassing.
If your grill falls out, you're not moving the camera away until it gets. Anyways, I don't even want to get into
I
it
just
like
saw
that.
the video. I just saw the video. I just saw a shot with him, Joel Santana, and somebody else without their teeth, and it was crazy. It's all three of them, no teeth.
All of
on the
them,
top.
yeah. So that definitely. But again, you gotta clean it up. But the one thing I Ultimate Hustler, Dame Dash.
Facts.
Right? You can't take that away from him. I think he's definitely out of his league when it comes to talking about 50 and the way that 50's trajectory is, and Dame's is kind of plateaued and just maintaining at where it's at right now. So I think that's an uphill battle for who, like, if they're gonna go stream for stream or something like that 50 Cent Kanye battle back in the day. It's not gonna be nothing like
yourself,
that. You have to like unwaverly believe in yourself.
That's why I rate him. Whenever people talk bad about Dame, he still stands in the fire.
So with Dame, like, he reminds me of 50 Cent. And I was saying this too in the same sense that, when it's all said and done, regardless of what you think about Dame, like 50, he's been giving us jewels for the life on how to maneuver as a man, as individuals, as black people, as industry, whatever, artists, media owners, whatever the case is.
That is a fact.
So you can't take away all of the good that he's done and uplifting he's trying to do to hip hop and the community. It's just nothing lasts forever, and I think that's what it is with him. I think he's kind of. And what I'll give to Dame too is that he's tried different genres. He's done a rock album. He's done different things. He's done the shoots. He's done everything pretty much to success. So
watches art.
Yeah, it's just right now he's going up against, and I think it's smart because in a world of content and clickbait, on one hand he's right now being in the same breath with Jay-Z anytime Jay-Z's name being brought up right now.
Facts.
And he's in the same breath right now in a back to forth with 50. So
why not? What kind of promotion is that?
That's all the promotion you need, right? At the end of the day,
I downloaded the app.
Hey, how is it? How do you like it?
It's pretty
good content.
Pretty good. Right? I watched him in Jamaica with Currency and Stali.
Yeah.
Old video they had from back in the day. They had an hour-long documentary. It was dope content. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was a Dame Dash fan, so
for sure
I can appreciate Dame Dash then,
yeah,
and I can appreciate him now.
Yeah.
Everybody's not gonna shine all the way through.
100%.
But you got to appreciate people for what they've done. So
yeah,
when I was coming up in rap, he was one of the figures that, you look to him and he's CEO and he owns this and he's talking about owning your own brand.
He's always talking about ownership from day one.
So it was like,
right? So
you could catch jewels from him.
Absolutely.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, but he's more than that. Like he's actually was giving back, and I think he's given back more than a lot, like jewels and game, more than a lot of statesmen his age and so on and so forth, and his tenure in the sport. So I think he just recently did a video. I think I seen the second half of the video. I think the first half is what we saw when he was talking that talk. But the second half of the video right now I saw today was him commenting about 50 Cent in the light, and I alluded to this earlier, in with being blackballed in the industry.
Right.
And he kind of was now kind of relating to 50 Cent, where 50 Cent was referencing being blackballed, for the Super Bowl, and Jay not, well, quote unquote, not wanting 50 there, but him having the close friend in Eminem and Dr. Dre saying, we're not doing this without 50.
Relationships.
Right. And Dame saying, listen, I rate him for having that. I'm a little jealous that I don't have that now. No. Actually, my friends are the ones that are blackballing me, right? The people I came into the game with. So, I feel for him on that note. But he's one of those guys that you can never keep down.
And a lot of people speak really highly of Dame.
Yeah.
So, big up Dame. And he didn't coin the term, but he uses a lot, culture vultures.
Yeah.
And speaking of a culture vulture, we just sliding in like that. You seen that slide?
Yeah, I see. I like it.
Right in the home.
That was smooth.
Speaking of culture vultures, there's this guy DJ Vlad.
Hey.
I don't know if he's a
my question.
I don't know if he's I really don't know if he's a culture vulture or not. I know that everybody's going and interviewing with him. Yeah. I know he didn't apologize to Farrakhan.
Yeah.
But I can't ask a man to apologize.
No. You just,
I don't want to get into the whole reason why, because we try to keep politics off this show. But
absolutely.
To be politically correct, there was a reason why he called out Farrakhan, right or wrong. Maybe he didn't have all his facts.
Yeah.
But when you come at somebody's beliefs, which he believed, I'm not saying he did, he didn't.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna get their back against the wall, and they're gonna react like how they react.
That's every human being, you know what I mean? That is pressed or is feeling that type of way. So for those that don't know, what's pretty much been going on lately with Vlad is that there's been a public back and forth with him and Marlon Wayans.
Yes.
And for those that don't know, Marlon Wayans is part of comedy royalty,
$1 billion family.
Yeah, that has been in comedy for, I want to say, over 40 years in totality. And so long and short of it, Vlad wanted an interview, or Marlon Wayans wanted to do an interview with Vlad, and the price tag was $40K plus rev share for all of the streams thereafter. Now, Vlad, I think what I don't hate is a man having his price and sticking to it, and someone not liking the price and not wanting to pay your price. So to each their own on both sides, I don't have a problem with that.
I'm not mad at how that happened.
Yeah, my problem
40K is my price.
Yeah.
If you don't want to pay it, then you don't need me on your show.
Yeah.
If you want me to pay $40K for you and I don't think it's of value,
that's your right.
I won't have you on my show.
100%.
But just leave it there.
But the problem is that every time you've seen Vlad after this, and now I don't know who's the one that made it public first, but every time you've seen Vlad, he was saying pretty much like he was trying to drive down Marlon's price. It felt like there was a lot of slander in Marlon's direction, saying that he's not worth that. If you check his last interviews, and he was throwing posts up with his most recent interviews, and they weren't getting nowhere near the streams that would equate to $40K and rev share after that. Now, checkmate, because since then, this has been going on for a couple weeks. Marlon has the most recent interview on the
Club Shay Shay,
the Shannon Sharp show. So Vlad loses. It's a lose-lose in the eye of public opinion to me.
Of course,
because now you don't know if Shannon paid the $40K or he didn't. All you know is that he got an interview with probably the biggest interviewer this year.
Right.
So
he hit 1 million.
And he hit 1 million.
He hit 1 million streams, and he wrote checkmate.
Yeah.
The second part was that Vlad was saying that he's not worth it because he doesn't garner enough views.
Yeah.
So for him to get 1 million views within a couple days, shows that he is valued.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, you can't hate on the fact that he might have used this back and forth with Vlad to garner more attention to his name.
Of course,
right? Did you see the interview?
I saw pieces of it.
Okay, yeah,
I saw pieces.
I saw little snippets. I think the one thing that stood out to me as we were talking about the Super Bowl was the fact that he was telling a story about A Living Color. And In Living Color, I guess, was
Yes,
on the interview,
yes.
was at the Super Bowl. Like it used to
Sunday
come
nights.
on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. I
Yes,
remember
it
it.
did.
And 1 year, I guess it ran real competitive with the Super Bowl.
It actually beat the Super Bowl in numbers.
There we go. So then, which is crazy today.
Which
Makes
is
me
why
think about that,
the
right?
next year they got MJ.
Yeah. So that was probably the biggest story that
You know what?
I took away from it.
No, the other story.
And again, I didn't see all of it.
I'm not
right?
saying no to you,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just recalling.
Yeah.
Big story. Him being able to see Tupac and Biggie both 20 minutes before their demise.
Yeah. That's creepy. That's a little like.
Yeah.
That's a little creepy. That
So-
was big too. Yeah.
And we've seen him speak towards it before and say, "Listen, this beef thing in hip hop makes no sense."
Yeah.
I was around the man them. I seen them right before they passed. I saw what the beef did for hip hop.
Yeah.
We don't need to go there again.
Yeah.
And he can speak passionately because he was on the set.
Yeah.
With Tupac, so we know he generally had a relationship with Tupac.
He did.
And we know just being Wayne's and being around, he would have seen Big and everybody. He was in the industry for a long time. He has different experiences, so he can speak towards that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely an interview that we all need to take a look at. And if next week there's anything hot from that, we'll bring it back to you.
So
guys.
I do have 2 questions before we leave that topic. First question is, do you think Vlad's a culture vulture?
Yes.
Okay. Do you care to share why?
The question he asks, as an interviewer, you know what you're saying to people, and a lot of time it seems like he's trying to lead certain people into more trouble and more drama. He's not really very versed on the topics he talks about.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times where I get very upset with him because the questions that he's asking, if he was truly a fan of these
Yeah.
people or truly a fan of hip hop, he should have that knowledge already.
I get that.
And he doesn't. So for me, it's like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
You're asking them all these questions that could indict them or get them into trouble, but you really don't do your research on them. You just want to know about the drama, messy parts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's trying to sell streams, right? He's trying to
Yeah.
sell ad space and people watching his videos. But if you were a fan, you wouldn't want to see, he wouldn't want to see the demise of us. And he's been brought up in a couple cases that we've seen.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm not gonna front like I watch Vlad TV, right? I find like a lot of the times it is informative. It is entertaining, depending on if you have a boozy interview, a Plies interview. You know what I mean? It's you do
He gets the guest.
Yeah, right. So, but the one thing is, I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it: where there's smoke, there is fire.
Yeah.
I don't think people are picking on Vlad. Like Vlad was the first in his space. He's a pioneer in this lane, right? In regards to interviews and speaking to hip hop artists and industry types. But I feel like if the well wasn't so easy to go to, so many people wouldn't keep going back to it. So I think the industry knows, a lot. People that are speaking on it, I think they're valid in what they have to say. To answer the question, I don't know, and to be honest with you, I really don't care. For me, it's y'all need to protect yourself when you're going on these microphones and in front of cameras and totally snitching on yourself. Like, this is on you. Like, Vlad he can ask you the question, you don't got to answer it, right? Like, anyone can ask you the question. Clout is a drug, and a lot of people, especially in this day and age, are literally putting themselves in jail, just based off their words and actions, and which can be controlled. So it's like they're intentionally doing it, but don't know that they're doing it at the same time, right? He
finds people that don't have media training, don't have anybody to support them to tell them, listen, you don't need to answer every question. But yes,
yeah,
I think he's a culture vulture.
Okay, all right, bet.
He's winning off it, and he doesn't give back.
Yeah, no, I
you know what I'm saying? What's the next question though?
Oh, so the next question I got for you was, who's your favorite Wayans? Which brother?
Damon.
That was me. That's what my pick
I think
was
Damon
as well.
was the funniest.
He was, and I think he has the most. Like Keenan was obviously the founder of it, and In Living Color will go down for me as one of my favorite shows of all time.
Right.
It launched Jennifer Lopez and Jim Carrey and endless legends.
Tommy Davidson.
Yeah, endless legends. But Homie the Clown.
He had the illest characters.
Major Pain, like
he had the illest characters.
He has characters that still resonate today. It's funny as hell. But I won't take that again. Marlon and Sean are funny in their own right.
Sean, not so much.
I was never a big fan of Sean, but
he's there.
He's there, right? Okay, perfect. I don't got much more on entertainment. You got anything else?
No, what are you saying? What's the music saying?
All right, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to jump right back into it. We're going to run this track, Smoke. This is Power Pleasant, ASAP Ferg, and Amani Caesar, as I was talking about earlier. So, hey, girl power, Blueprint Radio, all day, every. Let's get it.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to have to start off this segment with some sad news. Now, this happened a couple weeks ago, but it definitely touches home for a lot of hockey fans in Canada and abroad. The Columbus Blue Jackets, Johnny Gaudreau, had passed away on August the 29th. Actually, him and his brother Matthew, they were hit by a drunk motorist while riding their bikes. Which is a very sad story. We were talking about it, and nobody, to pass away from a drunk driver is it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But I guess what we'll say in regards to Johnny, he was loved. He went by Johnny Hockey. Born August 13th, 1993. American born, played 11 seasons in the NHL. He was the 104th overall pick to the Calgary Flames in 2011. He won some pretty decent awards, but in 2014 he won the Hobey Baker Award for Best Player in the NCAA for the Player of the Year. Sorry, in his rookie season he made the NHL All-Star Game as well as the NHL All-Rookie Team. As well as he was a finalist for the Calder Memorial Trophy. He was a finalist there. In 2016-17 season, he won the Lady Bring Memorial Trophy as the league's most gentlemanly player. And then for the last 2 seasons, he's been playing with the Columbus Blue Jackets. So his brother, Matthew, played professional hockey in the AHL and ECHL. So this is obviously a sad time for hockey fans everywhere, for the NHL, for the Calgary Flames community, Columbus Blue Jackets community. So we just definitely want to say thoughts and prayers and our condolences through to all.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, they were going to their sister's wedding the following day. So
yeah,
imagine the whole family was there to hear the news. Sad news. I guess we should just give them a moment of silence.
Absolutely. All right. So I guess on some less somber news, the NFL season has officially kicked off. Now, we were talking about it last week on our last show, and so we actually have results. We'll start off from game 1.
I got the hat on if you can't see it. The champs.
Yeah, so the champs stayed championing or whatever that is. They played the Baltimore Ravens at home. They won 27-20 in an entertaining game. The game in itself wasn't really the best game, I'll be honest with you, but it came down to the last play, and if the wideout was wearing white shoes as opposed to black shoes, it might have been a touchdown. But Lamar did miss two open players on the play before that. Won't say that. It's still early in the season. What I will say, though, before we get into the game itself, I'm done with rig nights. I am done with. They're way too long. Honestly, especially if you're not rooting for the team that won the chip the year before, let's do me a favor. Like, clip a 3-minute, 30-second video, throw it on YouTube. I'm good. Let me know the ceremonies, whatever. For everyone else, let's just get to the game, man. But, the Chiefs chiefed. Mahomes and Kelsey look like superheroes.
Hey, is Kelsey's girl gentrifying him? I seen him at the U.S. Open.
Listen, rebrand.
Full rebrand. Because, I know the White Thugs used to go in the barbershop for his cut. They used to go for the Travis Kelce cut.
Bro. Listen,
it's a rebrand of all rebrands, bro.
It makes sense. You get hooked up with Taylor
Swift,
and now him and his bro got that podcast. They signed for $100 million.
What?
It's so listen, I may rebrand for the same bag too. You dig?
Because the shorties that he had before her, like
some bad things too, right?
Damn. So for me, it's like, wait, you went from that to Taylor Swift?
Hey, but there's a reason behind
that.
But
the bag is coming.
Reason behind
the bag
that,
is
right?
coming.
But I guess back to the game. Like I said, the one thing that stood out to me, I guess, a couple things stat-wise, was the rookie Xavier Worthy. He had 2 touchdowns in his first game, which is absolute fire. It's a good way to start. Good luck with the tape all over you for the next couple of weeks, because they're not going to let you catch a pass.
Absolutely.
And then Lamar Jackson, Lamar's Lamar, 2-time NFL MVP, the reigning NFL MVP. For a quarterback to rush for 122 yards, my guy.
That's nuts.
It is crazy.
That's outrageous.
The Ravens O-line did look shaky. Derrick Henry, again, only rushing for 46 yards, where Lamar Jackson ran for 122. Seems a little off considering you just signed him in the offseason, but it is the first game of the season. I wasn't impressed with either team, but we'll see what happens in the next 17 games.
And the Ravens are defense first, so
yeah,
that's crazy.
But it does look like the Chiefs have their number, though, right?
They do.
Like them and every other team in the NFL. It feels like.
How did you feel about Philly versus Green Bay, bro?
The NFL is doing way too much, my guy. Way too much. Listen, I get Mexico. I get going to London. They're close in proximity, but Brazil, I bet half the stadium thought that when they heard American football was coming, they thought it was the MLS. Because listen, subjecting your players to an 11-hour flight, to play on the worst turf I've ever seen in my life, is
what did you expect?
Is an absolute fail on the part of the league. The fact that Green Bay's quarterback got injured with less than 10 seconds into the game, and Green Bay's season might be over now because of this MCL strain.
Doesn't that feel like the quarterback from the Jets last year?
Yeah, from Aaron Rodgers, who we're talking about a little later. But what grinds my gears, I'll say, is that Toronto is right here. Why are we not playing games back in TO? I know we tried it a decade ago, but hey, I think at least a preseason game in Toronto. Where do we talk? We have Vancouver. Vancouver's beautiful.
They don't want
you
that.
You go play a game in Montreal. That's gonna look fly.
We'll get a team out here. CFL will be done. Let's just relax.
Y'all deserve it, man. Y'all deserve it. So I'm hating on the Brazil move. The game was all right. If we're talking about the game itself, Saquon Barkley had 3 touchdowns. The Eagles look good. The Packers, again, like I said, I feel like the season is over with Jordan Love getting injured. But we'll see. I don't know. Jalen Hurts, he looked all right. I think he had 2 turnovers, if I remember correctly. A.J. Brown played well. He had a really good game himself. What did you think about it?
Good game. I didn't even get to watch this full game. I saw an interception. I saw a fumble. Turned it off.
Got better things to do than watch this. Watch this trash right now.
It started off whack.
Yeah.
But I didn't have faith in Green Bay in the first place. I think I picked the Eagles last week anyways.
Yeah, I think you were 2 for 2. If we're taking money line, I don't know if we should do spread, do money line. I think we do a little bit of both. I had the Eagles with you. I also had the Ravens to cover the 3. I think the line moved on me, but either way, they didn't cover it. So, I'm not going to trip. I'll get them next week. But come to Blueprint Radio for your picks, your tips. We got you. Just because it's local, did you see the Bills game at all?
I was on the road, but I definitely watched those highlights.
Yeah.
And I saw my boy, the QB.
Yeah. Josh Allen?
They're saying his team's not that good this year. He'll have to carry them. I don't know, bro. He looked good out there to me.
Yo.
He was slinging that rock.
So here's the thing, bro. Like, so shout out King, shout out Whispers. You know that a week one for us NFL little gathering, and one of my mans had that same take. They think that the Bills are going to be okay, and I am not on the side of that. I think their window has officially closed, and I think Stephon Diggs going to the Texans kind of sealed the fate. They've had multiple opportunities in the last 3 or 4 years to get to the Super Bowl, and I think it's in the footy world, as an Arsenal fan, in the era of Man City, I think you're just going up against a generational team, and you just gotta
You just gotta hold it, eh?
You got to be the Utah Jazz against the Bulls. It's just you just gotta eat it, and it's just the cards just didn't fall, and I think that just might be what happened to the Bills over the last 3-4 years. It's hard, especially in the cap era, to keep quality players. Get them to take less if you're not winning. They're not going to want to do it. It's going to be all about the bag. So I think we enjoyed it while it lasted. Who knows? They're in the AFC East. Miami's looking great right now. Again, right now the score is 0-0 with the game I believe just started against the Niners and the Jets. The Jets, are with Aaron Rodgers behind the helm, are expected to do good. Yeah.
Just throwing up the 3 because I'm 3 for 3 right now. I think this is the game where you bet it against them, and you said the Cardinals were going to win?
No, I'd never take the Cardinals over against the Bills at home. Never do that. No,
So which game was it that you messed up on?
It was the Ravens. I think I only picked I only did the 2. I think I only did the Ravens and the Eagles.
All right.
But listen,
so we're just gonna chart it. We're gonna start it. We're gonna chart it.
Board right here next week, and we're gonna show you who won and who lost. All right.
Yo, son.
All right.
Yo.
I'll get back to my Bet365 days.
I'm
we
chilling.
cooking with the stats.
I'm chilling. Let's go. Let's go.
Let me know when, doggy.
Let's go with that.
All right. So tonight, obviously, we got the Niners and Jets. I still got my Niners to win. I'm taking the money line. That 4.5 spread was kind of weird all week, so I'm going to take the Niners to win at home straight up. Who do you got?
I was going with the Niners with you.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of talk about the Jets, but I don't know. I'm still going to go with the Niners.
Yeah, smart guy. I think you learned from last year as well.
I think there's something we needed to talk about. There was an elephant in the room before the Sunday games. Tyreek Hill was arrested on the road, which looked really crazy.
That tape looked
They put him down on the
crazy,
ground.
bro.
They had the knee in the back. A couple officers around him. I'm pretty sure one of the officers is on desk duty right now as they investigate.
Well, it's full internal investigation right now.
Yeah,
I saw that before we got in here.
It looked super wild.
Yeah.
He did the handcuff celebration after an 80-yard touchdown.
It's Tyreek, bro. It's game day.
F
He
the
was on the way
police.
to the game, bro.
For real, bro. It was a crazy situation. Like, you looking at it, we don't really know what it's about. They said it was speeding, but why would you take him out of the car and throw him to the ground like that? We know the South is crazy.
Yeah.
Miami-Dade is crazy. Dolphins were able to overcome and beat the Jags.
That's a good game. That's an interstate game, so that's always a very tight contest between Jacksonville and Miami, even though they don't play in the same division. But which is weird. But the tape look
It looked
yuck.
sus, bro.
Yeah, but sometimes or a lot of the times they expose themselves in the way that they did it. Now that there's an investigation, that in itself alone. Speaks to me that a couple things weren't handled correctly. A couple things weren't handled correctly.
That didn't look good. I also wanted to speak about America's team.
Okay, all right.
The Cowboys beating the Browns and whipping them.
Yo.
Weren't the Browns the best defense in football last year?
They were really good defense. If I remember correctly, I forgot his name. I want to say the coach won Coach of the Year, but because they got to the playoffs and all that. But yeah, listen, shout out my fantasy team. I drafted CeeDee Lamb 1, and I'm doing pretty well right now, so I'll take that at the end of the day. But Dallas is good. Dak got paid week 1 before the
240
game.
for 4 years, crazy.
Get that money. That's going to be the trend towards the end of this show as well. The NFL. Sorry, is the NFL the NHL? We got games on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, playoff Saturdays. I thought these guys can only play once a week. Like
I know the Bills are playing on Thursday. They just played Sunday. They play on Thursday again. It's getting out of hand. My New Orleans Saints smashed the Panthers, but that ain't nothing to talk about.
Listen.
So you know what I'm saying?
That's
Big up to the Detroit Lions because you kept on calling them my team. They beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Nothing to talk about there. Yo, I'm just excited for this season of football, getting back into football, watching these games, and hearing Boomer Esiason give his side of the story.
Yeah, Boomer needs to retire.
You know what I mean?
But I was saying that, like, I was thinking about that when, like, that TV money is something crazy right now because you see it in the NBA. We'll get to it in the NFL. We'll get to it in the NBA. Listen, hi YouTube. This is why Blueprint's going visual because that's where the bread is at. So
Skyro, aka
get
viral.
used to us. This is where it's at. We getting that money, man. Shaq.
Oh, man.
Shaq.
I don't think these guys are the worst of all time.
This is wild. So first of all,
I don't think they're the worst of all time.
Have you ever heard "woke" before?
No.
I've never heard that term until this interview.
No, this is rude. This
the
is
worst of all
disrespectful.
time is mad disrespectful.
And of course, Gilbert Arenas had to be part of that.
Absolutely. So if you guys don't know, Shaq did an interview with his son, Sharif, and obviously Sharif had, the keys to ask his dad whatever he wants.
Of course.
And he went in, and the main thing that stands out about the interview, and I'm pretty sure, obviously, we're clipping up a 5-minute portion of an hour video, so, we're not going to be too hard on it, but what stood out is he said, he was asked who's the worst players of all time, and Shaq went with Rudy Gobert and Ben Simmons. Now, we need to all aspire to be like Shaq.
No, but the reason why he's saying that is because he feels after they got the big money, they didn't prove themselves, which I can appreciate Shaq. But they're not the worst of all time.
Shaq is...
We saw Rafael Arujo on our team. Like, the Raptors drafted some of the most garbage players of all time.
Yeah. No, listen. We have a list, right?
We saw Darko.
Yeah, the thing about Shaq is Shaq has been a household name for 30 years. Shaq can literally say whatever he wants, and he can go on any platform and say whatever he wants whenever he wants. Like,
Exactly.
This is top-tier elitism if you've ever seen it before.
Facts. He just doesn't like these guys.
Like, Shaq is definitely the main character of this game that we're playing. Like, he's definitely one of those guys. And it's interesting because Shaq, watching his greatness, like, we've all watched Shaq growing up if you've watched basketball for quite a long time. And we respect Shaq, in regards to the way that he respected the game of basketball, how we transitioned to movies, music, and, TV with, inside the NBA and everything else, all the commercials and all of that. So what really is interesting about me is that how he continues to shit on the sorority that's the NBA. And a lot of people... Fraternity of the NBA. Pause. And a lot of people... Yeah, fraternity, my bad. But in that being said, like, a lot of people think it's just centers. Shaq's just on everybody, which is so weird because he's one of the
I've seen him go at Spider Mitchell.
Yeah, so it doesn't even make sense to me that
he wants players to be as dominant as he is, but he's not realizing they didn't have the physical attributes that he does. Some people are not as talented, and I bring it back to the 50 saying, I wasn't as talented, so I had to work hard.
Yeah. Well, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard enough. Right?
Kiss.
So that's that.
That's a fact.
But I feel like now, like, he's picking on Rudy, and Rudy, you want to come tell your story on Blueprint Radio? Swing by my dog.
We got 2 chairs and a mic for you right now.
But like the hate, the Rudy hate is wild to me. Like,
bro,
it's crazy
how can you hate on a man that's just getting paid? It's not like he doesn't do what he's supposed to do.
Here's the thing. I don't mind the Ben Simmons take, even though I don't agree with the Ben Simmons take.
I would never.
Right? But the Rudy take it's wild to me. For them to be your worst players of all time and you didn't play with either of them.
But they're not even that bad.
Yo, Rudy Gobert, and here's my thing, and this is like, I don't know if it's a hot take, but My thing with Rudy Gobert, and a lot of people are taking shots, and again, this is always easier from us being Canadians. We see it from the American side of things that they don't often respect foreigners or people that aren't from the U.S.
No, look at how they spoke about what was the team, man? With Luol Deng's team.
Oh yeah, South Sudan. Yeah,
that was so
it's mad
disrespectful.
Oh, Gil Arena went off on those guys, right? For no reason. But like I think with Rudy Gobert and Shaq said this a lot, and even Chuck on Inside the NBA.
Chuck,
in regards to him having the potential, and we see it on the defensive side, and we see it with the rebounding. He has he's 3-time defensive player of the year, 4-time,
exactly,
something like that. So he's an elite talent, one of the best to ever play the game. If that being said, I feel like a lot of people are projecting the fact that his offense isn't nowhere remotely close to his defensive side of things, and I think that's on them, and it's not on Rudy. Like, take it from what you see. That's what he does.
Let's talk about this though. Sometimes how teams are constructed, and how coaches coach, they don't let you get off like how you would get off. You don't get to shine the way you would want to shine. We don't know if Rudy Gobert wants to shoot threes, and because he's a big 7'3" Frenchman, they say, "Yo, go to the post."
Don't even practice that. Yo, you played high school ball. You played some elite level of basketball growing up. We grew up in an era, and I was saying this to the fam yesterday. No lie. I got benched for taking a 3. And I hit the 3 too. I hit it in high school, and I got benched for the rest of the first half because it just wasn't a thing that we did. Like, we didn't practice it. We didn't work on it. We ran no plays to run a 3 back in the day. So, it's just one of those things.
I'll talk about
a lot of those coaches, are older, and they come from that world. Like, I can imagine being a coach that played in the 90s or in the early 2000s, and all the analytics are like, either dunk it or shoot a 3. That's the best shot. And you're just like, yo, what kind of game are we playing now? Sorry, I'll let you cook.
Man, growing up where I grew up, I felt like I was stifled offensively.
Oh, man, crazy.
I had a crazy handle, had a lot of basketball IQ. Whoever wants to talk about it can talk about it, but I know what I could have did. And
talk to them.
I didn't get to do what I wanted to do because of coaches wanting to run Princeton-like offenses.
Been there, fam.
Not really letting you shine. I remember a coach not putting me on the right team and then making me practice with his team for the rest of the year. I should have been playing senior, and then he made me practice with the seniors because the guards weren't saying nothing.
Nothing, right?
So they could come at me, but they know what it was.
But we can also talk to coaches' egos too, right? Because
for sure.
That's like in the NBA, they get checked because unless you're Phil or Pop or Larry Brown or whoever the case is, right?
Bro.
But in college, like, the coach is the rock star.
Is the man.
Yeah, right? So
the program and the coach is it.
How many players do you think were the man in their city, in their town, can do everything on the basketball court, and then goes to a collegiate school and they're told to play D and run to the corner and shoot threes? Like, that probably happens a lot more than you think, right? So it's it's just one of those things that I feel like Rudy has been getting a bad. He's been getting picked on. I'll say that. But keep cooking, bro. Like, keep playing. Don't worry about no one else. Life isn't easy. Basketball isn't easy.
Bro, to your point, like, think about like a Michael Beasley.
Yeah,
who we know is
he's it coming out of Kansas.
He's it, left-handed, could do all the stuff. Like, was KD's right? Like,
yeah.
Come on, man. Are you saying he couldn't ball, or the system didn't fit him?
Well, again, basketball. Again, I love this topic because basketball is one of those sports, real talk, where you're drafted determines literally your career.
Everything.
Because if you're drafted to a team with a bad coach or a bad GM or a bad organization, and they're not in development mode, then that stifles you. And if you're one of those people that are like, yo, listen, you can look around and see that you're not going to get the play or you're not going to get the time or whatever, and then you start to get naturally a negative energy, that word goes around to other coaches in the league, and now your growth is stunted, right?
That's a fact.
It's tough. It's tough in the I think the toughest sports are the NBA and the NFL when it comes to where you're originally drafted to,
it matters a whole lot.
And then trying to make a change after that.
Once you're labeled, you're labeled. And it's crazy for you. Like, I don't think Anthony Bennett was that bad. I just think he just was in the wrong situation. He shouldn't have been the number one pick. He
shouldn't have been the number one. It was a bad year. And in any other year, he goes maybe 10. Maybe late lottery.
Yeah,
maybe late lottery.
Bro.
So,
but like once that expectation is placed on you, Kwame Brown,
it's tough.
It's done.
It's tough.
You have a year to prove it. And they don't even really give you a year. You just got 10 games.
But here's the thing, though. Like, how do you go from being the number one pick of all to all of a sudden 2 years down the road?
Now you're dirt. You don't even know how to. You can't even do a left-handed layup.
So everyone's wrong. Everybody was wrong on draft night. Like, stop it. Anyways,
all right, man. Canadian legend.
Yeah, speaking about TV money, because again, this is we're moving the direction we're trying to move to, so we're manifesting it.
TV money, baby.
Big shout out to Kitchener. Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets agreed to a 4-year, $208 million contract extension.
Jamal, come on the show, son.
That's at 52 mil a year. Get that bread, my
He's
guy.
Worth it, though.
Yo, shout out Kitchener.
He got a championship.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna get that.
I remember watching him at Orangeville Prep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he was nasty back then.
That was the first prep school out here, and he was I think he's the inaugural class, like first out there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, shout out Kitchener, Waterloo area. Shout out Laurier, some great times out there. You dig? And we'll also shout out Steph, who re-upped, and he's making 60 mil. He re-upped last week. We didn't get to it, but he's at 60 mil for his next contract. So Roses. So I don't know. Again, like what side is my good side? I feel like the left side with my moles kind of shows like like.
I just been putting stuff in my beard.
Yeah, the right side I think comes off as playful and heartwarming. So I'll work on that. I'll see which angle's the best.
Maybe we'll flip that episode.
You dig? So we'll get that. So what we'll do right now, we'll slide right back into some more music. Right now we're gonna run 2 tracks we ran last week. Boys in the Hood, Meek Mills, Joel Santana, Jim Jones, Roddy Rebel, and then this track off the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Detonator, Killer Mike, Rock the Legend, Blueprint Radio.
You heard?
We got you. Right.
Okay, give me a second. We'll do Drop Zone, then we'll pause.
Yeah.
And then we'll just do This Week in Hip Hop.
Yeah.
And then we'll pause the cameras again.
Cool.
And then you'll do the intros to those records.
Yeah, I'm good.
Show went smooth today.
Yeah, nice, bro. Better.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
So we'll do Drop Zone.
Yeah.
Pause for a minute, and then I'll just do This Week in Hip Hop because it's quick. And then you'll just say what the tunes we're gonna play.
All right. So I can't even find the Drop Zone drop. Like what is this? Do you want me? I don't need to play the drop.
You don't need to. I have it if you want it.
Yes, and I gotta figure out this. It never started doing this before, but I don't know why it's doing it now. Hold on, I got it.
Okay, because I got it right here.
All right, perfect. Got it.
The Drop Zone.
All right.
The Drop Zone. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yo, up the block and down the street. Drop Zone this week. We running it back. Up the block and down the street. This week in the Drop Zone, we running it back. 2 hot tracks. We ran them both last week. I think it's fitting to run it back again. The first track is The Leading, F.O.R.E.E. Second track, this goes, man. I've been bumping this. Fashion Week, Sad Boy, Smiley. Let's get it.
Okay, I'm gonna do this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, and we back. It's This Week in Hip Hop. On September 5th, Young MC released his debut album, Stone Cold Rhymin'. On September 7th, we celebrated. Oh, I'm do that again. Yeah. So I was feeling that joint with Sad Boy and Smiley. I've been bumping that.
Yeah.
This week in hip hop, though, Young MC released his debut album, Stone Cold Rhymin', on September 5th.
Bam, bam.
On September 7th, we celebrated a legend's birthday, Eazy-E, R.I.P. the legend.
Yo, rip.
You feel me? September 8th, Cannabis released his debut album, Can I Boss? And Jay-Z released his 11th studio album, The Blueprint 3.
All right.
That was 2009, bro.
That long ago, eh?
Yeah, fam.
Dang.
On September 9th, M.O.P. released their single, Annie Up, Robin Hood's Theory, one of the greatest singles in hip-hop.
Take rings off. Take chains off.
Yo.
Bracelets, baguettes, everything off.
Annie Up. So, yo, let us know what we're about to play right now, G's.
Yeah. So what we got for the Drop Zone this week? We gotta start it off with Eazy-E. You know, straight out of Compton, classic hip hop. We love the West. We gonna play the West all day. Then we're gonna run into Cannabis.
I don't know if you can say this word.
Retarded.
Oh no!
And then we're gonna slide right into. See, I was in between Annie Up, but I went with Cold as Ice.
I mean, it's on the same album,
Yeah,
so we'll give it ratings.
That's my favorite track on the album, personally, because of the sample. Like, if you know where the sample comes from, like, I'm a sample guy, so it just automatically, tugged at the heartstrings. So that's the one for me. And then last but not least, we're gonna run Jay-Z on to the next one. And if you guys don't remember,
and that was Matic's pick. I'm exclusively saying that because
we gotta balance. Listen. Okay, let's talk about this quickly then.
I was on to the next one. I heard this record.
Yeah, no, I get it. But let's talk about this again. We're Blueprint Radio, but we'll be totally, straight with it. We were looking for songs off the Blueprint 3, and it didn't feel like that classic Jay-Z. Like, it had tracks like Run This
Homie, Your
Town
Hooks
and
did it. The Beats did it.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling this project at all. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There wasn't a lot that I loved off the project.
Magna Carta came after this, right?
Yeah, I like Magna Carta though.
Magna Carta, he brought it back up.
Yeah,
a
I
level.
like that.
But because Blueprint is probably my favorite album from Jay.
Okay, yeah.
And then Blueprint Volume 2.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it could have been one album, and we could have took out a lot of tracks.
We have to have a conversation about that. How many double albums that were maybe pressed to one could be 5 mic albums back then?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Though,
yeah, right.
Because
big Life After Death, and it was 4.5 already. But you take out one or two of those tracks, like that might have that for sure is a 5 mic album, right? I think.
I'm not gonna.
Pac? What's Pac? Pac's All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me.
I think that was actually 5. I think it got 5 in the source when it dropped originally.
Was it?
It might have been 4.5 and a half.
You know what?
I think it was All Eyes on Me. Was it all? It's not Machiavelli. All Eyes on Me.
Nah, man. Tupac double album. We gotta. And this is embarrassing.
No,
because we know the music. It was All Eyes on Me because Me Against the World was the other one.
Yeah, and then Machiavelli came after that.
Yeah. You had it right.
And then Tupacalypse or something like that.
Yeah. Tupacalypse was before that.
Before that. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, but again, there's multiple of these albums. Again, I was saying it on earlier show about the Lost tape or the Nas album that was originally supposed to be I Am. That should have been like if we take all the purple, not purple, the Lost tapes and you combine that with I Am. That's a 5 mic. So we could be here all day about that.
Hold on. Last show I gave you I Am as a record.
Yeah.
How's it sounding?
I'm not playing it, bro. I'm not even opening it. I'll buy another copy, and that one is staying wrapped up. Yeah, that's a collector's
because I just wanted
me,
I just wanted to know how Blaze of 50 sounds.
No, I appreciate
as a
you.
record.
I appreciate you for that, but like it's like I'm not gonna treat records like I do shoes. Like I'm one of those people. I have my kick game is immaculate. I'll go toe to toe with anybody, but I wear my shoes. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have them pressed, wrapped, temperature control room. I wear my shit. You dig?
That's a fact.
But when it comes to these records, listen, I'm picking out a frame for this joint.
That's crazy.
You understand what I'm saying?
I play my records.
Yeah,
man.
nah, like I'll listen to the CD. I'll stream it.
I play my records.
You know what it is? I want a good turntable though.
I also just want to hear what the sound
techniques.
quality. I want to hear the warmth of the record.
Yeah, no, I feel you exactly. That scratch, it's music. Okay, so we'll run these tracks. We'll get right back to it.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
All right, what another amazing show.
Yes.
We appreciate all of y'all being here with us, taking the time and spending it. We know it's valuable. We know you have a ton of things to do. So, we appreciate each and every one of you.
From us to y'all.
Absolutely. So if you need to get a hold of us, we want you guys to reach out. We want your feedback. We want your support. We need to know what you guys are thinking to have the best show on the planet. Please reach us at blueprintradioshow@gmail.com.
Or at Link Blueprint on IG. We're over there.
Yeah.
You can also hit us up at our personal pages.
Yeah.
It's Reed Roses _BPRS.
And Matic _BPRS.
We do hosting, we do events, we do everything, man. We're out here. We're in the public. You'll see us at your local venues.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot. Shout out to everybody that's supporting us. We got mad love. Shout out to the studio. We love it here.
Yeah.
It's been great.
It's fly.
We're going to continue to be here. You're going to get the visuals more and more and more. Check us out on the streaming platforms. Look for our playlist, all of that.
Our playlists are fire.
Look for the merch.
Merch is here, man. We doing it.
Oh.
What can I say? All right. Stay up. Stay busy. Stay hungry. Stay working. Blueprint Radio. Until next week. We love y'all.
Peace.